Welcome to CIO TV.live, a sister concern of Enterprise IT World, which is a leading CIO magazine for South Asia and Middle East and Africa. Today, my guest is Mr. Satyabrat Misra, AVP Corporate IT, Godrej Industries Limited. To speak a few words about him, he's a 19 plus years of experience in the industry of fashion, retail, manufacturing, FMCG, and finance services. He's leading the corporate IT function with prime focus on IT infrastructure and cybersecurity for the Godrej Group with overall responsibility and authority. Mr. Satyabrat, warm welcome to you and thank you very much for sparing time to speak to us.
Thank you, Sanjay. Thank you. It's a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you. So, if you can start very briefly telling us about the organization in respect to the users and the assets will be really nice to take it forward.
Sure. So, as you would be aware, so Godrej is a conglomerate, and it has got business interest in variety of areas. Godrej Consumer Product is the largest company within Godrej Industries Limited. Apart from that, we have Godrej Properties, Godrej Agrovet, Godrej Chemical, and now we have recently launched Godrej Housing Finance as well. So the business operations of Godrej is spread across 14 different countries. We are in 3 different continents. So majority of business is while it is based in India, but apart from that, we have operations in Africa region, in US, Argentina, Latin region, as well as in Indonesia. So these are the primary location where Godrej is operating. Overall, in terms of number of users, we have 10,000 plus users spread across these regions. India being the largest, around 5,000 odd users would be based out of India. Rest are all international users.
Right. How does your infra look like? Is it on-prem or cloud? Or you have got some on-prem, some are in the cloud. How does it look like?
Yeah. So 3 years back, in fact, we started this whole cloud journey, and we consciously took a call that we would move out of this whole on-prem kind of scenario, right? So 3 years back, we moved to a private cloud setup. Currently, we are on a journey of adopting a lot of public cloud also along with private cloud. So we are in a way going towards hybrid and multi-cloud option, right? So 60 to 70% is on private cloud, which is owned by IBM, and rest is with either AWS or Azure. So predominantly between these three cloud providers, we are distributed. Initially, this thing was implemented for India businesses, right? And now this year we are moving even the international businesses. Though the infrastructure is not too big there, but whatever is there, locally hosted, that also is now being moved to either a private cloud or a public cloud setup. So by end of this year, we would be 100% even from an international point of view onto cloud.
Okay, Satyabrat, time hasn't been that favorable, that good for last 10 to 11 months due to the pandemic. How has been your BCP during this time? Many companies have struggled.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think the initial in the month of March, it was a surprise for everyone, right? I mean, nobody was really prepared, and even after the announcement came in, most of the people thought that this is going to be some short-term kind of thing. Nobody really thought that we would have to continue to work from home for almost a year, right? So the good part is that having invested in some of these technologies very early, we could transition this work from home and enable work from home very soon. So in the month of March itself, when it was announced that our employees would not be coming to home, coming to office, and would have to operate out of their homes, the first thing that we had to do was enable remote access of all these business applications. And since we had certain solutions which are based out of cloud, we could roll out this entire work from home for within a period of a week or so for entire 10,000 users, because the endpoint solution was already deployed. We just had to enable certain policies in that. So that is how this all thing started. The second was giving remote support to all these users. That itself was again a challenge, because people were distributed across different places. Many of the people actually moved to their hometowns, right? So providing IT support, in all these tier two towns, etc. The good part is that the team also, took it as a challenge, and that for last 10 months, the entire support, which is obviously an outsourced partner through an outsourced partner, the entire support is being managed remotely. So people, take remote of the systems, provide whatever assistance that is needed. At the same time, from time to time, if there is any hardware related issues or anything, that also being managed. So, we tied up with certain agencies who can dispatch all these devices at user place in all these tier one, tier two towns. And so that also has been done for quite a big number of employees. Uh, Apart from that, as you mentioned about the our preparedness with regards to DR and BCP kind of scenario, well, so we have a very robust DR process in place, and which we have been testing all these years, even before this pandemic. Twice a year we have been doing those rigorous tests, running couple of days out of our DR site, even during normal circumstances. So that is why even during this 9 months we could do the normal DR drill for all the 5 businesses that we have, and users could log in from their ham. It was a seamless experience for the end users. They could not really face any issues. Even going further, what we are also doing is we are now moving towards DR automation. See, one of the challenge using during the DR scenario is that while a DR drill could be a planned thing, right, but an actual disaster would never come announced, right? And moving the entire 5 businesses to a DR site within a RTO time frame of 2 hour or 4 hour would not be possible, right? So therefore, now we are adopting a DR automation technology from IBM, and very soon we are going to roll out that. So within a month or so, we will be 100% automated in terms of our DR transitioning, switchback, switchover, and which will also give us a complete visibility of our DR 24/7. That what is the running RP or RTO at this point in time. So that is our plan as of now.
Okay, okay. The COVID had brought in a lot of challenges, and one among those were those was the cybersecurity. Many companies got hacked. Many are still being hacked, and those are very small companies. So large, of course, very large companies have been hacked or attacked for some with something or other, viruses or malwares. So how did you manage those things? How did you manage to monitor or manage your product endpoint devices, even the back end, your data center? What are your strategy?
Yeah. So, see, one thing about security is that while everybody says that we have done enough, but there's never a 100% guarantee that anybody can take. So
Absolutely.
we have been fortunate in that sense that while we have taken due care, so far nothing really event that has occurred in our organization as of now. So during this whole scenario, again, it was a bit of challenge, obviously, because we had a team of on-site and offshore. So we have a SOC running out of Bangalore, and so the team sits there and does the 24/7 monitoring. Plus, we had a lot of people sitting in the office and taking care of these all security incidents and taking care of all the issues. But during this time, both the teams were obviously running, operating out of their homes. So initially, it was a bit of a challenge because it was never really tried and tested earlier. But fortunately, most of our tools and technologies, the kind of solutions that we have again are cloud based, and therefore we did not really find much of a challenge in doing it remotely or managing it remotely. So while the offices were closed, the teams were all coordinating with the MS teams, and doing all the calls, coming on to calls and discussing and doing all the work which was used to be done on prem. It was all being done remotely. So we could do the entire activity. In fact, it has also given us a opportunity to relook at the way our operating model is, and this was one of the things that often company debates, that whether you really need so many people sitting out of office, and everybody have to be there on prem. But now that people have experienced and realized that yeah, it is possible to kind of work remotely also. So perhaps this will also change our way forward, and we will also move towards our hybrid kind of scenario. So maybe 30 to 40% of our support resources might continue to work from home, and only maybe 50-60% would come to office.
Hmm. Now things are getting receded. We are seeing offices are opening up. So also your offices or your locations are opening up. So uh, what has been your learning in terms of technologies? What are the projects you have, say for a couple of quarters from now? New technology that you are planning, maybe RPA kind of things are, keeping distancing. You mentioned also
Yeah,
automation, which is
automation.
part
Yeah.
of RPA territory also.
Yes, yes. Yeah. So yeah. So in terms of see RPA, we anyways implemented a year back. So basically there are two separate tracks which are going on within the organization. One is RPA on the business front, business process front, and then also in infrastructure and security side. So we already implemented RPA in infra and security. So a lot of these L1 kind of activities which earlier used to be done by people manually, all of that we have actually started transitioning to a RPA setup.
Mm.
So and plus we also implemented this say email to ticket kind of thing. So all of that is actually running through an RPA bot, which is implemented a year back. Going forward also, in whatever way possible, in whichever area possible, like just to give a example, even on the security incident side, we are looking at maybe this year, I mean the coming year, and then we are already budgeting for that, is a SOAR platform perhaps, so that the entire incident management can be fast tracked, and we can do more with the same set of people rather than increasing the number of people, or
Mm.
perhaps try and see whether we can reduce some of those elements. Similarly, in the front of endpoint support, while our entire workforce is distributed across these 10, 14 countries, there is a small team of people who's actually managing the security. And again, there also we face a lot of challenges in case if there is an endpoint related incident.
Mm.
So there as well, we are moving towards an EDR kind of solution, so
Okay.
that this set of 5, 6 people running, working around the 24/7 shift can take care of these entire endpoints remotely rather than having to depend on somebody for hand and feet support locally. So that is another area. DR anyway, as I mentioned, there also we
Mm.
are planning to go for automation.
Mm.
And apart from that, in terms of overall security posture, also we have already started working towards zero trust, network architecture. Our remote working solution, which is what we are using, the VPN solution, is also zero trust compliant solution, right? And now we are taking it to the next phase, wherein even within the data center, within server to server communication, we have started working towards micro segmentation to take care of those kind of east to west traffic also can be stopped in case if it is not originated by an end user. So that these are couple of key technology initiatives that some of them are already work in progress, and some of these are already planned for the next financial year.
All right. So you are in the process of bringing in innovations into your organization. So challenge comes here as far as budgeting is concerned. Uh, it is completely proportionate with the performance of the organization. Are you facing budget challenges, during your implementation or planning also?
Yeah, so budget is one area where there's always some or other challenge. I mean, it is never easy to say that we want this much and you always get this much. So it is always a little bit of bargaining. We just have to show the value. So I think, and the good part is the business really understands.
Huh.
They understand what is it that they want in terms of technology solutions, and therefore if you align your investment and your priorities with business, things become little bit easier. So while we are also trying to, and the top leadership understands from a security point of view, that is already one area where everybody is aligned, and
Hmm.
everybody wants to be in terms of implement the best of the solutions. So that is one area where there is complete alignment. So I don't really see much of a challenge there. Apart from that, as you mentioned, from a digital initiative, every business is driving here in a lot of digital initiatives, and they are also able to showcase the value to the business. And therefore, these two, three areas where I think should not be a much of a challenge. And we are also trying to focus our energy on these kind of solutions where we can work closely with business and give some value to them.
Okay, any thoughts of yours around zero trust or SASE kind of cyber security that these days security pundits are talking about, that
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
the security lies at the end point
Yes.
than at the core.
True, true. So I think while the concept of zero trust has been there for quite some time, perhaps it
Hmm.
is because of the kind of solutions which were not present. It could not really take up in a big way earlier. But now that so many solutions are available, people are also coming up with so many different vendors are there who are
Hmm.
coming up with zero trust solutions. But the important thing is that every business has to do their own evaluation. What kind of business application they want to protect, what kind of spread of endpoints are there in the organization. So what works best for the each organization has to be something that everyone has to look at. But in terms of overall technology point of view, I think zero trust is going to be there for quite some time in future, and it is a one area where everyone is doing some or other initiative. As I mentioned, we also started with our journey on zero trust with our endpoint connectivity solution and the VPN solution, and now we are taking it to the next level, even in the data center and towards the cloud connectivity also. So
Okay.
while it is not going to be a single solution which can give you everything, it is always going to be a combination of four or five different
Hmm.
things that would be able to give you 100% zero trust architecture.
Got it. Any challenge area before I ask you the last question? Any challenging area that you are facing, which you want to mitigate in future times, or working upon that in the future times?
Yeah, so I think when it comes to security, while there are a lot of back-end technological solutions that we keep on implementing and keep on doing, one area which always remains is people's awareness, how
Hmm.
vigilant they are, right? So because ultimately at the end of the day, they are the weakest links, right?
Hmm.
While you may put a lot of technology, but if they bypass or if they are not vigilant enough, they may end up doing something which can create problem for others. So that is one area where we are still working on, and again there are certain plans in place. We are working along with certain partners, along with people, along with HR teams. So how to make employees more and more aware and also take responsibility. They are not only imparting some kind of training to them, but making them partner
Hmm.
to the the security team, and so that they can participate more closely and can understand what is their roles and responsibility in this area. So that is one area where we still have to do a lot.
All right. What would be the piece of advice that you want to give to your peers?
Yeah, so I think just two three things. One is obviously if you want to spend money on all these technology solutions that I've been talking about, aligning the business is the key. Because whether it is in infrastructure or security, understanding what are the business priorities, showing value to them, right, would make life much more easier. In terms of getting all these budget approvals, etc. Security obviously is going to be very very important with the kind of attacks that are happening, whether you are in financial services kind of industry which are more prone, or you may be in an our kind of industry, perhaps maybe manufacturing or real estate, etc. At some point in time everybody might get impacted, and therefore cyber security is one thing that perhaps maybe everybody need not be at the same level, so you may have to decide what kind of solutions and what kind of maturity you want to be in. But that is one thing that perhaps everybody should be really focusing on, and because it may impact any kind of business. It is not necessary that only financial services are really getting impacted.
All right, Mr. Satyabad Mishra, AVP Corporate IT Godrej Industries Limited. Thank you very much for taking out and speaking to CIO TV.live. Stay safe and hopefully we'll meet sometime very soon.
Sure. Thank you. Thanks a lot, Sanjay.